Good morning, students. Hope you all are healthy and fine. So, welcome back to the literature class. As on the last class, I explained you all the cold within. So, before starting the poem, first I would like to tell you something about the gist of the poem. See, this poem basically, the cold within. The poet's name is James Patrick. Inspires us to rise above the petty barriers of class, caste, religion and race, and promotes the concept of universal brotherhood. It teaches us that if we behave selfishly and do not share the resources we have, then in the end we are all going to suffer. So here two paragraphs on that day I have explained to you all. So let me read the lines of the poem again. 6 humans trapped by happenstance in black and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the story is told. They are dying fire in need of logs, but the first one held hers back. For all the faces round the fire, she noticed one was black. So 2 paragraphs on that day I explained. So let me tell you the paraphrase of both the paragraphs. 6 persons were entrapped together by chance in a freezing cold. They had no way to escape from there. They found the dying fire and sat near it to keep themselves warm. The dying fire was their only hope of survival. Each of them had a stick of wood, but they had their own reasons not to add the fuel in the dying fire. This is how the story is narrated. Basically, this is universally profound moral. Thus, it is a parable that gives us a message at last. As the fire was dying, full-blown fire was dying, and they were entrapped over there. So it greatly needed to be fed up with logs of wood. It could be kept lighted only if one of them came forward to supply fuel to the fuel in it with his own stick. The first man did not want to give away his stick because he thought that by doing so the life of the black would be saved. Hence he held back his stick, showing his clear intention. In fact, he suffered from the feeling of racial prejudice. So here I am going to begin with the 3rd paragraph. So the 3rd paragraph tells, the next man, looking across the way, saw one not of his church and could not bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. So here the poet wants to tell, saw. Here the next man, the second man, he saw. And church. He found not belonging to his own religion and could himself, he could not convince himself. He could not convince himself to give stick, to supply the fuel in the dying fire with his own stick. He did not convince himself. Birch is a kind of a tree. So he had a stick of birch. Birch is a kind of a tree, a type of a tree with smooth thin branches. So the next man, first one was the one who saw one black over there. The next man means the second man. What did he saw? What did he see over there? The second man had his own reason not to supply the fuel to the dying fire with his own stick. He found that in the group, one man did not belong to his own religion. Hence, he could not persuade himself to give up his stick of wood to help a person of another religion. He did not convince in that. He thought, if I am a Christian, So I will supply the wood to the stick only to the Christian. But he did not saw one knot of his own church, of his not own religion. Indeed, the second person suffered from the feeling of intolerance. He was suffering the feeling of intolerance. Again I am telling, according to the poet, the second person suffered from the feeling of intolerance. He looked around. 6 months, 6 men were sitting over there. He looked around the people sitting around the fire. It seemed as if he tried to observe something very curiously. Curiously, he was observing something. He found that one of them did not belong to his own religion. Hence, he could not convince himself to feed the fuel to the fire. He could not feed the fuel to the fast dying fire with his own stick. His feeling of intolerance stopped him to do so. He cared only for the people who belonged to his own sect of Christianity. So that is why he also did not give the stick to the dying fire. Third paragraph. The third man. The third one sat in the tattered clothes. Tattered clothes means very poor. Very, very, very poor. He was sitting in the tattered clothes. Tattered means very old and torn clothes. The one who is very, very old and torn clothes means basically he is poor. He gave his coat a hitch. Hitch means a very pull tightly, fasten tightly. Why should his log be put to use? To warm the idle rich? Why? Why he'll give his stick to warm the idle rich? It means this paragraph is quite clearly it is telling the third one who seemed to be very poor, he wore very tattered clothes, was not least interested in adding the fuel to the dying fire with his own stick of wood. Actually, he had seen a rich man. All 6 were sitting. What did he see? He saw a very rich man over there in the group of the 6 men, and he was full of bitterness and hatred for the rich man. He showed no intention to keep the rich man warm by adding the fuel into the dying fire. Showing his great hatred for the rich man, he gave his coat a hitch. No, I am not going to give my stick to warm the idle rich. He also denied, he also did not give. So the third one was a poor man. As he wore tattered clothes, it seemed as if he was suffering from poverty. Perhaps in his tattered clothes, he felt extremely cold, trying to wrap himself from the severe cold. He gave a strong shake of his coat with his hands. His shaking the coat strongly showed his tightness. He was full of bitterness and envy for the rich man who was sitting near the fire. He did not want to add the fuel to the dying fire with his stick to prevent the rich man sitting there from getting warm. He, being poor, thought that it is the rich man who are lazy and who make the poor suffer for no reason and live at the cost of the poor. So he also denied, no, I will not give my stick to the dying or in the dying fire. See, in both the paragraphs, third paragraph as well as the fourth paragraph, and as well as the second paragraph. Second paragraph, he or she saw the girl black. Third paragraph, he saw the one is not of his religion. Fourth paragraph, again the third man saw there was a rich. So third paragraph and the second paragraph. See, this is a bigotry. Bigotry which speaks to intolerance to a person who does not share the same opinion of ideas. Indeed, it is shameful of us that scientifically civilized society, we all are living in a very civilized society, man is nourishing the feeling of discrimination and prejudice based on caste, creed, color, and religion. Discrimination created on different levels led us nowhere but to ultimate doom. So the person belonging to the poorer sections of society, the person belonging to the poorer sections of the society have been biases against the rich people. They think the rich man to be the main cause of their poverty. The rich man are the main cause of the poor man's poverty. The unequal distribution of wealth creates a social and economic discrimination. Because of the suffering from utter poverty, the poor are forced to have grudge against the rich. So the behavior and attitude of the rich is extensively responsible to create a feeling of inferiority complex in the poor. So the second, third and fourth paragraph, we have described the three men over there. One saw the black, another one saw the one who was not of his own religion, again the one saw a rich man sitting over there. So till now we have finished our 4 paragraphs. Now I am going to write the 5th paragraph. You all need to keep one notebook and pen along with you to write these lines. I guess you all must have arranged the books till now so that you can get the lines and the book itself and get the meanings. And I am going to write the lines, the 5th paragraph. The rich man just sat back and thought. Of the wealth he had in store. He had in store. And how to keep what he had earned from the lazy shiftless poor. So this is the 5th paragraph. The rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. Yeah. The rich man just sat back. Set back means made a distance from other persons, especially from the poor persons. In store. Set back means he had made a distance. In store. In store means in the possession. Possessed at that time, whatever the things he has. How to keep. And how to make safety of the money, how to save it, how to save our money from that particular old rich poor person. Shiftless, here the word is there, shiftless. Not being ambitious for the success in life. Not being ambitious for the success in life. Or you can say an idle fellow. Idle fellow. Or not being interested in doing something great. So here basically he is talking about the poor person. And who is talking about the poor person? The rich man. The rich person. He is talking about the poor fellow right now. So in the 5th paragraph, the 4th man, who was the rich man. Earlier in the 4th paragraph, the poor saw the rich man. Now the rich man saw the poor man. The 4th man, who was the rich man, was also sitting near the fire with other man of the group. But due to being a wealthy or rich person, because he was very wealthy and rich, he maintained a distance from them. He maintained a distance from them, especially from the poor person. He was surrounded with the thought of safety of his will, which he had at that time. He thought, I will save my money or whatever the things I have to safety of my wealth which I had on that time. He wanted to secure his wealth from the poor, whom he considered an idle and a very greedy fellow. The rich man here is talking about the poor fellow. He was very greedy, idle, shiftless, the one who does not want to do anything in his life. Great thing. Hence he kept the wooden stick to himself instead of adding it to the dying fire. He also did not give, only he was bothering about his wealth. My wealth should be saved from the poor person. Why I will give my wood to the poor? Because he was very lazy and shiftless. No, I am not going to give. So he thought, no, I will not give. The 4th one, again I am telling, who was a very rich man, who was only absorbed taking the safety of his, he took his full time only to take the safety of his great wealth he had in his possession. He had on that time. He thought how he could keep it away from the poor man. What are the ways he could keep it away from the poor man? He considered the poor man a lazy and wakshaka fellow who was always on the lookout to have the rich man's share. He thought that he had earned the money through the sheer hard work, whereas the poor man was very lazy and therefore was living in which condition? Poverty condition. Then he decided not to use as a stick for the welfare of the poor man. I will not give. So till 5th paragraph, we have finished 4 men over there, but they did not give their stick of wood to the dying fire. So here in this paragraph, both the rich and the poor, in the 4th paragraph the poor, in the 5th paragraph the rich, both the rich and the poor are guided by animosity against each other. Against each other. The rich think that the poor have their eyes on their wealth. Rich people think the poor have their eyes on their wealth. And they means the poor want to rob it. Poor want to rob his wealth from there. Whereas the poor think, what the poor think? That they have been deprived of their share. And the rich man are the main cause of their poverty. So the greediness of making a great heap of wealth makes the rich blind. Make the rich very blind and callous. So the rich men are greatly puffed up with a feeling of proud on having a large store of wealth. But there is no use, because at last everyone will die. Because everybody is only talking about the revenge, the caste, the creed, the racism. They should not talk. In spite of that, they should save themselves. So this is the 5th paragraph. Now I am going to write the 6th paragraph. So I request you all to write these lines. I am going to write the 6th paragraph. The third paragraph, the black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire passed from his sight. For all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. To spite the white. So here, in this paragraph, the poet is telling, in the sixth paragraph, the black man's face bespoke revenge. Bespoke revenge means showed the signs of, showed the symbols of. Bespoke means showed the symbols of. Showed the symbols of. What kind of symbols he was showing? He was showing the symbols of one thing, that is the revenge. Revenge means to hurt someone. As the fire passed from his sight, as the fire passed from his sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite. Spite means to desire to hurt or to annoy someone. The white. You remember the second paragraph? One lady was there, saw the black. Now again what black is seeing? Black can see the white. They can see to each other because there were only 6 people. There were only 6 human beings. So now the turn of black. Black saw the white. The fifth one was a black man. Was full of hatred for the white people. As he had noticed the white in the group of people. As what did he notice? The white in the group of the people. The signs of revenge were clearly visible. What was visible? What was the signs? What were the signs? That are the signs of the hatred, revenge were clearly visible at his face. As the fire was dying, he thought he had now golden opportunity to hurt the white people by keeping his stick with him. Instead of adding to the fire. He also did not give stick to the dying fire. He also thought what to do now. He also did not give. So the fifth one, again I am telling, was the black man. He was full of hatred for the community of the white people. As he had seen the white man sitting near the fire, the expression of hatred and anger for the white man could be seen at his face in the glow of dying fire. Sight, we can see it on his face. It could be just to see his face. He was determined to revenge. He was basically determined to revenge against him. He thought it to be better opportunity to hurt the white people by keeping his stick with his hand, with him. instead of applying it to the dying fire. He also did not give. So both the black and white, the second paragraph and the sixth paragraph, both the black and white are guided by animosity against each other. Animosity as the rich and the poor, the white and the black. So the poet points out that the white practice racism, whereas the black are always seen to revenge against the white. The poet points out the white practice racism, whereas the black are always seen to revenge against the white. So the discrimination based on color has made the people inhuman and callous. So no spark of humanity is found in the heart of the people because of being victim of different prejudice. Different kinds of prejudices are going on. One was poor, one was black, one was rich, one was white. So this full it was going on. Now we have the seventh paragraph. The last man. Seventh paragraph. I guess I'm clear to you all. The last man of this forlorn group did not accept for gain. Giving one to those giving only to those who gave. Was how he played the game. Was how he played the game. Was how he played the game. So this paragraph, the seventh paragraph, the poet is telling the last man of this forlorn group. Forlorn means very lonely and very unhappy. Very lonely, very unhappy. The last man of this forlorn group did not means here nothing. Except for gain. Thought nothing except for his personal gain. Giving only to those who gave. He was only interested, means the last one was only interested in helping only to those who helped him first. So last paragraph means the sixth man of this lonely group was a very selfish man. He was a very selfish, unhappy man. He did not accept something. He did nothing. What exactly? He did nothing except something for his benefit. Only for his benefit. He gave only to those who gave him something back in return. As he had already observed that no man in the group was interested to give up his stick to add the fuel to the dying fire. He also decided to keep his stick to himself because he was very selfish. He saw the entire, the rich, the poor, he saw the rich, the poor, the white, the black. So he also seen the sixth man. He also saw. What did he see? He also have seen that nobody is giving. So why will I give? He also, because he was very selfish. The sixth man was an very, embodiment of selfishness. He was completely devoid of emotions, sympathy, generosity. He did not show any concern with others, sorrow and trouble. He always thought only about his own welfare. He liked to help only to those who helped him first. In other words, basically, he liked to give only to those who gave him first. He applied the same attitude here also. When he found that none in the group was prepared to give up his stick, he also retreated to do so. He also did not give. He thought that it would be unprofitable because he was not going to get any kind of profit. Any gain he is not going to get. It would be very unprofitable to use his stick to light up the dying fire, to warm the other 5 people. So also he also kept the stick with himself because he was very embodiment of selfishness. Very selfish person. He was only thinking about himself. So he also did not give. So the poet foreshadows the fate of the group by finally describing the bunch as forlorn, or you can say hopeless. Unfortunately, we find that the last person, we also find that the last person also perpetuate the vision circle of the full entire things. In giving just to get, only he was giving just to get. The last person also plays a losing move in the game. So he also kept his part aside because he was very selfish. He also did not give anything to them, to the dying fire. So see at last what happens. Here the very first paragraph gives the introduction, how exactly the persons are there. 6 persons, 6 humans were entrapped. And the last paragraph, when you will read it, you will also get a conclusion over there. So first and the last paragraph, basically the introduction and the conclusion. After reading it, the first paragraph, you will come to know how to start, how the poet has started. And as you will read the last paragraph, again you will be getting how the poet has ended up this. So I am going to write the last paragraph. See the last paragraph, everyone. Their logs held tight in depths. Depth still hands. Still hands was proof of human sin. They did not die. They did not die from the cold without. From the cold without. They died from the cold within. from the cold within. So after reading this last paragraph, anything is clear to you all? They are dying, their logs held tight in death's still hands was proof of human sin. They did not die from the cold without. They did not die from the cold without. They died from the cold within. They died from the cold within. See, this is the 8th paragraph, the last paragraph. Here again the word we have used, logs. Logs means the pieces of wood that all the persons of the group held in their hands. In their hands. We have the meaning of still over here. Still. Very rigid. Very rigid. Cold without. Cold without. Cold without means the cold out of the doors. And cold within. The coldness, where is the coldness? In their hearts. In their hearts. So none of the 6 persons gave up the stick to supply fuel to the dying fire. All of them held the sticks in their hands tightly, clutching the logs of wood very tightly in their hands. As the fire extinguished, all the men died of freezing cold. All the men died of freezing cold. It was nothing. It was nothing but only a proof of human sin. Human sin. They died not because of the cold outside. They did not die because of the cold outside, but because of the cold within. They themselves invited death, They themselves invited death by nourishing the feeling of racism, envy, arrogance, revenge, selfishness, and greed in them. They could get rid of these feelings of sin and purify their souls by putting their sticks in the dying fire and thus helping one another. But no, they all were suffering, they all were tolerating all those things. Finally, what exactly has happened? All the persons of the group were embraced by death. They become the victim of death due to their feelings of discrimination, prejudice, hatred, revenge. None of them sacrificed their sticks for the welfare for the others. They did not, they should do it. The fire had extinguished and extreme cold turned them into corpses. They were lying on the desolated ground motionless. The poet points out that they perished into dust not because of the coldness from the outdoors, but because of the coldness in their hearts, within hearts. The sticks in their hands suggested that no one had renounced sinning, being unkind for one reason or the other. So we witness the grim aftermath of the group's rigidity of spirit. Death comes and it is personified here with rigid hands, personification. Each individual becomes his own agent of death. Each individual becomes his own agent of death. Their hands frozen stiff with their refusal to act. The fact that each of them still possess their firewood, proof enough of the sin, only the human sin. So the final lines abound with irony. We realize it was not the weather outside that really killed the group of people. After all, no, it was the cold in their hearts, the lack of warm human spirits. What is that? The cold within. They should not keep all these feelings in their hearts. Not at all. Otherwise, they would be suffering from. At last, what is left? The main thing, that is, they all were died. So through this full poem, the poet wants to highlight how the man gives into discrimination and prejudices which govern all his thoughts and deeds. By the example of a group of 6 people sitting around a fire holding a stick each, the poet allows the reader to know the psyche of each of them, how each of them is prejudiced and holds back his stick which is needed to let the fire go on. The white hates the black. The white hates the black, and the rich is contemptuous of the poor. Their hatred is stronger than the genuine need of the hour, that is, to let the fire go on, to let the fire go on. Ultimately, the fire dies out, and the poet makes it clear that it was not due to the cold outside, but it was due to the cold within, that refrained each of them to use his stick to keep the fire going, or to keep the fire going. Through this poem, the poet convinces us that there is a differences based on the poet wants to tell us there are the differences that is based on caste, creed, color, religion led nowhere but only to complete downfall. So we should not be in this full things. We should think from our own mind. We should leave all these things. So in this poem, the poet has basically uses the diction to project his point. The line that the poet start his poem is 6 humans trapped. The 6 humans trapped by happenstance. His diction in this line is very important to the overall theme of the poem. By saying 6 humans, it is almost as if he is talking about all human beings. Even now also we all are suffering from these situations, these discriminations we all face every day. But we should not be in this. Another curious use of diction is saying trapped in happenstance. Happenstance means an event that might have been arranged, although it is accidental. This use of diction is important because by saying that it is accidental, yet almost seems arranged, gives the reader a sense that they are supposed to be there. The fact that he says they are trapped suggests that they do not want to be in the situation, but they cannot escape also. So basically this poem is a parable, a story with a moral. It is so because the poet tries to bring home a very important lesson to his readers. So end of the 6 men from the coldness, from within, not from without, is a plea against harboring prejudices or sins such as racism, envy, arrogance, revenge and greed. So I guess this poem is clear to you all. Is it clear, everyone? Get the figures of speech and read the poem again and again. Any doubts, when we'll meet, we'll clear it out. So we have finished our first semester poems. So next, on Monday I have the class. So Monday I'll be telling you the short stories. For short stories you need a full chapter because there is a full reading of the chapter. So I'll do something to get you all the full pages. So we have 2 chapters in the short stories. Number 1 is Chief Seattle and number 2 Old Man at the Bridge. So on Monday we'll be continuing with the second chapter, that is Old Man at the Bridge. Till then, take care everyone. Stay happy. Bye bye.